If you could travel back to 66 million years ago, you would personally witness Earth's fifth mass extinction event. This was a day destined to be recorded in history. An asteroid the size of Mount Everest was hurtling toward Earth at a speed of 100,000 kilometers per hour. In the final moments before doomsday, life continued its own story. The hard-working Edmontosaurus family was preparing to build new nests. As usual, the children at home were eagerly awaiting the food their mother would bring back. Beneath these giants' rough exteriors lay hearts full of tender love. They too wanted to give their children the best possible life. Not far away in the forest, an adult Tyrannosaurus rex stood guard with intense concentration. Today was their first hunting experience, and as their father, it had to unreservedly teach them survival skills. To the west, a group of massive Alamosaurus were happily foraging. Weighing 80 tons, this species became invincible upon reaching adulthood, though they still preferred the tender leaves at treetops to the intense competition below. Meanwhile, the oceans were also thriving. After so many years of development, the reptiles' rule had become even more firmly established. Yet even this mighty biological empire would meet its historic moment today. The asteroid finally collided with Earth. This single impact released energy equivalent to 1 billion atomic bombs. The dinosaurs weren't all killed by the initial impact. Most creatures perished in the chain reactions it triggered. First, within 1,000 kilometers of the impact site, all life was vaporized within seconds. Powerful predators like Tyrannosaurus rex disappeared just like that. The impact also deformed Earth's crust, sending seismic shock waves rippling across the entire planet. Within just a few minutes, massive earthquakes began erupting worldwide. Many dinosaurs sensed something was wrong, but nothing they did could help. Especially for the giant Alamosaurus, this was only the beginning. The situation in the oceans was no better. The earthquakes triggered wave after wave of 500-meter-high megatsunamis that ravaged both oceans and inland lakes. Floodwaters swept across countless continents, leaving coastal dinosaurs with nowhere to hide. The rapidly rising waters created an unstoppable force. Even the mightiest Alamosaurus fared little better than roadside trees against such a catastrophe. Within an hour of impact, the molten rock fragments ejected into space began falling back to Earth under gravity's pull. As these rocks re-entered the atmosphere, they turned incandescent red, essentially creating a rain of fire. The scorching atmosphere became terrifying, like a burning hell. Any creature standing on bare ground would have felt like they were on a 400-degree grill. This was the horrific reality facing the Edmontosaurus. Many mothers chose not to flee in order to protect their young, but where could they have fled anyway? Their ultimate fate was to be completely roasted. The molten rocks began falling like rain, yet this was only the beginning of the apocalypse. 2 hours after impact, suffocating dust and volcanic ash began mixing and sweeping across Earth. Combined with the molten rocks, it created fiery sandstorms. Countless plants burst into flames, and the resulting smoke and ash only intensified the disaster. Those triceratops that survived the first wave by virtue of their location found themselves facing endless waves of hellish conditions. Wherever they went, it was like being trapped in purgatory. No one could save these lives now. The once dominant dinosaur dynasty was buried under thick layers of ash that blocked most sunlight, while the collapse of the food chain severed their last hope. The skies plunged into eternal night as endless acid rain poured down. The oceans suffered just as much as the land. Ancient coral reefs were completely destroyed. The kings of life had now completely collapsed. This became another mass extinction event in Earth's history, directly causing 80% of species to perish. Nearly all animals over 1 meter in size died in this catastrophe. Fortunately, the accumulated biodiversity over countless years provided life with one last retreat. The massive die-off also created opportunities for marine scavengers. When the extinction's effects finally ended, hardy insects became the first life forms to re-emerge. In short, all surviving animals shared two key traits: small size and strong adaptability. As the haze cleared, small reptiles, amphibians, and mammals gradually emerged. During that glorious dynasty, they had been at the bottom of the food chain, but now they became the ultimate victors. Yet even after extinction, fragments of the mighty dinosaur lineage survived. Some bird species carried traces of dinosaur ancestry, and they would eventually reclaim terrestrial dominance, just like their ancient ancestors.